be giving you guys a quick Luma Island guide to how to solve the abandoned farm temple puzzles and also how to get your first Luma. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Oh, and if you haven't seen my full Luma Island review, then that will be linked in the cards up above and in the description down below, and you should definitely watch that for my detailed review. So the first thing you're going to want to do is locate the temple itself. The temple itself is located kind of in the top right corner of your map, right by where you go into town. There's a little road that breaks off from the road that leads you into town and goes up to an abandoned temple. Once inside, you will notice a glowing lever with an arrow pointing downwards towards it, and all you have to do here is walk up to the ledge with your whip in hand and hit the lever with your whip. That will trigger the door at the end of the hallway to open, and then you can get started on all of the other temple puzzles. The first puzzle you'll encounter is a flying purple bat locked in a room. This bat isn't particularly dangerous, although you do probably need to kill it to get across the room, because otherwise it will attack you and make you drop your items, which will be very annoying, especially if you have a very full inventory. So I do recommend that you kill the bat before accessing the other side of the room. The next puzzle is a timing puzzle. So there are some flamethrowers hidden in the walls of this room, and if you don't time it correctly, then you will get hit by the flames and have to start over. Personally, for this one, I just recommend waiting until the flames have shot to go across the room, because most of the time you can get across without them firing again. To solve the third room's puzzle, all you have to do is go hit the lever on the left side of the room and then quickly cross to the bridge that opens up to the other side, and then you are home free of this room. Oh, and don't forget to be getting all the chests and crates along the way in the temple, because they do have some pretty good supplies in them. The timing puzzle from the second room is back in the fourth room of the temple, and is a little bit harder to solve this time around. So they doubled the recipe for flamethrowers, and then they also put some spider webs in between you and the next set of flamethrowers. So in total there are 8 flamethrowers in this single room, and you have to get across the first 4, break the webs, and then get across the next 4 to get to the other side of the room. My tip for this room is the same as the second room, just really pay attention to the timing and make sure that you only start to run as soon as those flames get across the room. You really want to be careful with this one. Keeping on theme with repeating puzzles, room number 5 is the first puzzle repeated, only doubled again. So for this puzzle, the best thing I can really say to you is enter the room, stand still, and stand on business. You've really got to make sure to kill these 2 bats before you go across the room, because there's also a square in the middle of the room where a rock will drop from the ceiling and try to fall on you as you're walking across. And personally, I don't want to have to deal with that and 2 bats trying to take my items all at once. The 6th room doesn't actually have a puzzle in it, but it does have a chest, so I do recommend that you grab that before moving on to the next room via the door on the right. I've never actually been in the room on the left, but according to what I've read online, you definitely do not want to go in there, and the fact that it glows green kind of creeps me out just a little bit. And if you haven't already, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because we're almost done here with the puzzles, and I don't want you guys to forget, because I have more Luma Island guides coming out very soon, and I don't want you guys to miss any of the tips and tricks that I plan on giving out. The 7th room is pretty simple. It has a statue throwing out some flames going to the left, and you need to rotate it so that you can get across. All you have to do is go up behind the statue on the right side, and then again on the left, and rotate it into the wall. That way you can get across to the door. The easier the previous puzzle, the harder the next one. So in the next room, we've got the flamethrowers back again, and all you have to do for this one is run across the first set of flamethrowers as quickly as possible, halt before the second set of flamethrowers, let them get across, and then run across to get to the door. This next room has another timing puzzle, and I know you must be so tired of hearing that, but honestly there are a lot of timing puzzles in the temples as a whole, but especially this one, and it's not super difficult. You just have to break a spider web and then get across the flamethrowers, and then you get to advance to the next room. The next room may be the last room in the temple as far as puzzles go, but it is definitely the hardest. This room has 2 different sets of flamethrowers on either side. It also has 2 different statues in the middle that you need to rotate, and honestly the timing of this puzzle is really hard. You've got to make sure that as soon as those flames come out and touch the opposite wall nearest close to you that you go running for the statue and you rotate it as quickly as possible and get back to the middle and do it on the other side. And honestly, it is really difficult, but it is so worth it when you get through that hallway room to the other side and you emerge in the room that has the chest with your Luma egg in it. And honestly, as a person that really loves the Lumas and thinks that every Luma that I've seen so far is really adorable, I honestly think that having to solve all of these slightly difficult puzzles is definitely worth it to get those Lumas. If you're wondering how to hatch a Luma, by the way, you just buy the Luma incubator recipe from the shop in town and then head back to your house to build it. And then you have to have some spirits as well to make a Luma life. That way you can pair the Luma life with your Luma egg in the incubator, and then as soon as it hatches, you've got a Luma. And there you have it. That is the complete Luma Island guide to getting your first Luma and solving the ancient farm simple puzzles. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!